Welcome, and thank you for coming to part 3 of our Earth Charter webinar series. I am the host of the series, Mallory Hopkins, and the Earth Charter Internal Champion for Medcom Benefit Solutions. Medcom provides employee benefits and services for companies and institutions across the country. We became a partner with Earth Charter International at the beginning of 2020 and have been working for our community even before that. We have several internal committees that work to make Medcom a more collaborative, accepting, and sustainable place. Our employees have done volunteer work and work to become a member of the North Florida Green Chamber of Commerce. If you haven't heard of it, Earth Charter International is an organization that cultivates a global network of people, creating enthusiastic local action to make the world a better place. ECI also has an education center that teaches online and in-person classes about sustainability, ethics, and other topics. These classes use the Earth Charter document as a guide. The document is the heart of ECI as well as the Earth Charter movement. The Earth Charter document is made up of 4 pillars that describe in detail how to make the world a more just, sustainable, and peaceful place. The 4 pillars are respect and care for the community of life, ecological integrity, social and economic justice, and democracy, nonviolence, and peace. And today we're covering ecological integrity. Ecological integrity, like all the pillars, are also broken down into principles. Our guest, Dr. Chris Beehner, will go over what those principles are, expand on what ecological integrity means, and share his expertise on the topic within the framework of the Earth Charter document. Dr. Beehner is a professor at Seminole State College in the Bachelor of Science in Business and Information Management program. He teaches classes on sustainable business at the college as well as online for the Earth Charter Education Center. He's written a couple books on the topic, the first being Spirituality, Sustainability, and Success, Concepts and Cases, and his more recent book is titled System Leadership for Sustainability, and it was released in December of last year. We're really grateful that Dr. Beehner has joined us today, and I'll go ahead and hand it over to him for the rest of the presentation.
Thank you for the introduction, Mallory. I'd like to begin with a brief introduction to the Earth Charter. The Earth Charter is an international declaration of fundamental values and principles used by its supporters to establish a just, sustainable, and peaceful global society in the 21st century. The Earth Charter was formally approved at UNESCO headquarters in Paris in March 2000 and officially launched on June 29, 2000 in a ceremony at The Hague. However, the history of this document began in 1987 when the United Nations World Commission on Environment and Development called for a new charter to guide the transition to sustainable development. The Earth Charter has grown to become an organization, a document, and a movement. The Earth Charter International celebrated its 20th anniversary this year, marked by virtual events across the globe and a renewed commitment by the Earth Charter community to achieve a more sustainable society. The preamble to the Earth Charter best summarizes its purpose. The resilience of the community of life and the well-being of humanity depend upon preserving a healthy biosphere with all its ecological systems, a rich variety of plants and animals, fertile soils, pure waters, and clean air. As Mallory mentioned, there are 4 pillars in the Earth Charter, and housed within each of the 4 pillars are 4 principles that further frame the purpose and function of each pillar. These pillars and principles are interconnected and in many cases overlap because many of the ideas and goals represented in the Earth Charter are interconnected. These pillars and principles also overlap with and enhance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and other frameworks designed to establish a more sustainable world. Today, I'll be discussing the 2nd pillar, ecological integrity. Ecological integrity is defined as the ability of an ecosystem to support and maintain a community of organisms using processes and elements characteristic for its ecoregion. The concept of integrity implies a valuable whole, the state of being whole or undiminished, unimpaired or in perfect condition. Humans are members of the community of organisms and depend on a healthy ecosystem for survival. Therefore, it's essential that we contribute to the sustainability of our ecosystems if we wish to ensure the sustainability of our species. Pillar 2 of the Earth Charter advocates the need for ecological integrity through 4 main principles and 20 supporting principles for achieving ecological integrity for a sustainable future. I'd like to take a few moments to introduce each of the main principles and a selection of the supporting principles and briefly discuss the importance of each. The main principles are: the first one, protect and restore the integrity of Earth's ecological systems with special concern for biological diversity and the natural processes that sustain life. Protecting and restoring life-sustaining processes and systems is important to maintain ecological integrity and sustain current and future generations. All life on Earth is interconnected, and humans cannot survive without the countless plant and animal species that share our planet. The second principle states, prevent harm as the best method of environmental protection, and when knowledge is limited, apply a cautionary approach. Preventing environmental harm is important for ensuring that we continue to have access to clean air, clean water, necessary resources, and safe food. Prevention is much less expensive than repair. The third principle states, adopt patterns of production, consumption, and reproduction that safeguard Earth's regenerative capacities, human rights, and community well-being. Current and future generations can enjoy a comfortable quality of life by simply changing our consumption patterns to match the capacity of the Earth to replenish what we consume. With available technology, we should be able to increase our standard of living by producing and consuming natural resources more efficiently. And the fourth principle states, advance the study of ecological sustainability and promote the open exchange and wide application of the knowledge acquired. We should continue to learn about and invest in sustainable technology and practices and share our acquired knowledge to help increase sustainability locally and globally. I'd like to take a moment and introduce just a few of the key supporting principles. Establish and safeguard viable nature and biosphere preserves, including wildlands and marine areas, to protect Earth's life support systems, maintain biodiversity, and preserve our natural heritage. Promote the recovery of endangered species and ecosystems. Manage the use of renewable resources such as water, soil, forest products, and marine life in ways that do not exceed rates of regeneration and that protect the health of ecosystems. Manage the extraction and use of non-renewable resources such as minerals and fossil fuels in ways that minimize depletion and cause no serious environmental damage. Ensure that decision-making addresses the cumulative long-term, indirect, long-distance, and global consequences of human activities. Prevent pollution of any part of the environment and allow no buildup of radioactive, toxic, or other hazardous substances. Reduce, reuse, and recycle the materials used in production and consumption systems and ensure that residual waste can be assimilated by ecological systems. Act with restraint and efficiency when using energy and rely increasingly on renewable energy sources such as solar and wind. Promote the development, adoption, and equitable transfer of environmentally sound technologies. Internalize the full environmental and social costs of goods and services in the selling price, and enable consumers to identify products that meet the highest social and environmental standards. And finally, adopt lifestyles that emphasize the quality of life and material sufficiency in a finite world. Because there are so many principles addressing the numerous aspects of ecological integrity, these principles may seem overwhelming and unachievable. However, it's not necessary or even reasonable to expect individuals or organizations to apply every principle in their daily actions. South African Archbishop Desmond Tutu once said that there is only one way to eat an elephant, a bite at a time. The Earth Charter pillars and principles can be implemented and applied one at a time because any effort will result in positive benefits, and as momentum begins to build, additional principles can be applied. We can achieve ecological integrity by practicing sustainability. Sustainability is commonly defined as ensuring that current and future generations all have access to the resources needed to achieve a reasonable standard of living. By achieving and maintaining ecological integrity, we can ensure that we and our descendants can enjoy quality of life and have access to the resources such as clean air, drinkable water, food, and the enjoyment of our surroundings. Sustainability does not mean doing without. It means properly managing the resources we use and how we use them. When ecological integrity is compromised, access to necessary resources is also compromised for future and current individuals and communities. Achieving a sustainable future is possible, but requires everyone's participation, business, governments, and individuals. I'd like to take a few moments to explain why we should care about sustainability and share a few easy actions that anyone can take to begin the process. While achieving sustainability is a noble cause, some business owners and managers may question why they should incorporate sustainability and the Earth Charter principles into their businesses. After all, Nobel economist Milton Friedman advocated decades ago that the primary purpose of business was to make profits. The recipients of those profits were then free to do whatever they wanted with them, including philanthropy and promoting meaningful causes such as sustainability. Until recently, business and sustainability were considered unrelated and even conflicting activities. However, consumers are increasingly demanding products and services which limit or even eliminate adverse environmental effects. An increasing number of business owners and managers are recognizing that sustainability can provide a market advantage over competitors, as well as opportunities to reduce costs and increase overall profitability. There are two contemporary business models that help explain the transition to sustainability: the triple bottom line and the circular economy. The triple bottom line was introduced in the 1990s as a model in which businesses were encouraged to look beyond the traditional bottom line of profitability by adding people and the planet to their bottom line perspective. Each of the three Ps are important components of a sustainable business model. As we continue to see the increasing adverse effects of unsustainable activity, businesses that do not consider people and the planet in their business models will operate at a disadvantage in the marketplace. The circular economy has emerged as a movement in which the life cycle of products and services is viewed as a circular model, being recycled, reused, regenerated, and repurposed. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the circular economy is a systemic approach to economic development designed to benefit businesses, society, and the environment. In contrast to the take, make, waste linear model, a circular economy is regenerative by design and aims to gradually decouple growth from the consumption of finite resources. Many companies are already taking steps to become more sustainable. This transition is not just occurring in companies that we typically consider environmentally friendly, such as Patagonia and Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Royal Dutch Shell recently was awarded a contract to build a large wind farm off the coast of the Netherlands. French energy conglomerate Total, which operates a battery manufacturer, has agreed to make several large investments in solar power in Spain and a wind farm off the coast of Scotland. British Petroleum recently announced that it expects oil and gas production to decline by at least 40% by 2030, related emissions from that production, including end use, to fall by 35 to 40%, and the carbon intensity of BP's operations will fall by 30 to 35%. Major companies such as Apple, Google, Nike, and Dell have made aggressive commitments to be carbon neutral by 2030, if not sooner. Sustainability is also influencing the fields of insurance and finance. In 2019, Chubb, the largest US commercial insurance company, became the first major US insurance company to adopt a policy restricting coal insurance, announcing that it will not underwrite risks related to construction and operation of new coal-fired plants. Earlier this year, BlackRock, the world's largest money manager with over $7 trillion in assets under management, committed to make sustainability and climate risks key tenets of its investment strategy, a decision that may influence other financial institutions to prioritize climate change issues. Sustainability presents a significant opportunity for businesses to capitalize on the transition to a green economy. The results of a recent study indicated that the US green economy generates $1.3 trillion in annual revenue in the US, creating jobs for 9.5 million full-time employees. This news comes as many companies in the fossil fuel industries are reporting significant financial losses and neutral or even negative job growth. While there is a clear financial incentive for businesses to become sustainable, there are important reasons for and benefits of governments becoming proactive with sustainability. The common purposes of government are to establish laws, maintain order, provide protection and security from internal and external threats, and promote the general welfare by providing essential public services. When we lack law and order, our safety and security are at risk. When society does not live sustainably, there are risks of loss of health, life, and property from lack of access to natural resources and through misuse and misappropriation of those resources. Individuals and communities who lack necessary resources frequently call upon governments to provide services and resources, often at significant costs. Natural disasters reduce access to necessary resources and cost individuals, businesses, and governments considerable amounts of money. On a national and global level, unsustainable living can increase the risk of conflict as increasing population struggles to obtain access to water and natural resources, increase the numbers of environmental refugees seeking asylum, and increase the spending necessary to provide aid or protection to its citizens. When it comes to our health, we recognize that preventive measures are almost always cheaper than treatment for diseases, tooth decay, and other health problems. Likewise, promoting sustainability will be cheaper in the long run than paying for the actions that will be necessary to correct social and environmental problems. By promoting sustainable use of natural resources, governments are merely performing their fiduciary and legal duties to their citizens. There are clearly financial incentives for businesses and governments to adopt sustainability. But why should individuals take steps to become more sustainable? With an estimated 7.8 billion individuals on the planet, small sustainable actions by large numbers of people can have a significant effect on ecological integrity. While the sustainability actions of individuals can positively benefit the planet and all living things, they also provide personal health benefits and financial savings. Becoming sustainable does not require selling your car, moving into a tiny house, or giving up meat, although those are options that some people have chosen. While our driving, living, and eating habits certainly impact ecological integrity, often minor changes in behavior produce major results. Changing inefficient light bulbs to LED or compact fluorescent, as well as turning off lights and appliances when not in use, is not only good for the environment, but saves money. Eliminating single-use plastic items reduces the amount of microscopic plastic in our rain, animals, and subsequently our food chain. Purchasing fair trade and sustainably grown coffee and other food products is not only good for the environment, but also frequently contributes to an improved standard of living for people who live in developing nations. Planning driving trips to reduce the number of miles driven per week reduces carbon emissions, reduces natural resource consumption, and saves money. Walking or riding a bicycle on short trips is not only good for the environment, but it's also good for your health. These are just a few of the countless small steps that can be taken to preserve ecological integrity and become more sustainable. I hope that you've enjoyed this introduction to the Earth Charter pillar and principles of ecological integrity, and the role and importance of sustainability in maintaining our planet for generations to come. If you'd like to know more about the Earth Charter and what you can do, there are several options. Several online educational courses are offered by the Earth Charter, including introductory courses, courses about business and urban ethics, systems thinking, and a diploma designed for sustainability educators. Individuals and organizations can endorse the Earth Charter and agree to apply the Earth Charter principles. Businesses, organizations, and educational institutions can become Earth Charter affiliates and partners. And of course, as a nonprofit organization, we rely on donations as one of our primary sources of financial sustainability. For more information, go to earthcharter.org. I'd like to close by quoting the last line of the Earth Charter, which contains a simple yet powerful charge for humankind. Let ours be a time remembered for the awakening of a new reverence for life, the firm resolve to achieve sustainability, the quickening of the struggle for justice and peace, and the joyful celebration of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beehner. That was all very well said. And I like the quote at the end. I think it ties everything together really well. Thank you again, Dr. Beehner, for sharing your time and knowledge with us today. I really appreciate it, and so does Medcom. If you're ready to get involved with Earth Charter, you can contact me with the email shown on the screen, which is earthcharter@medcombenefits.com. And again, that's earthcharter@medcombenefits.com. I'd be happy to help you sign up for an online course, maybe even the one that Dr. Beehner facilitates, or give you more information on how to start a wonderful partnership with ECI. Thank you again, Dr. Beehner, and thank you to everyone that's attending. Have a great day and stay safe.